Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's session where we are discussing about the CBC career pathways. This is specifically for parents and even teachers for if you have your child in grade 9 or 8. This session is going to be very valuable for you and will have a lot of insights in terms of how or what you need to do to be able to prepare them. In the next 30 minutes or so, this is what I am going to cover. Number one, we'll look at understanding learning styles. Yeah. How best does your child learn? Or what would be the thing that would really work well for them? Allow me to just quickly go to the next thing. We'll also look at career paths. What are the career paths that are currently available or being offered by the CBC system? And we'll see which one works best for you and your child. And then we'll take some time to look at CBC as aptitude assessment that can be able to guide you and help you to be able to have some scientific direction in terms of what interest does your child have, what career options are available to them, and what you can be able to do now and then to support them as they go to the exam at grade 9 and thereafter. What would you how can you support them, the teachers, the school, and you as a parent, and also them as a student? They get to know what really works for them. So with that as a general overview of what we are going to learn, I want to know, are you ready? If you're ready, drop that in the chat and say, yes, I'm ready. I will also be happy to know where you're joining us from and probably which school your child is, or if you're a teacher, which school they're in. Is that okay? So if you're ready, let me know in the chat. It's going to be an interactive, quick 30 minutes session, and my hope is that you will be able to gain the most. If you have any questions, also feel free to drop in the chat. I'll be answering questions when we are through with this session. Thank you very much, Veronica Okada. So if you're ready, I can see you there. Where you're joining us from or which school is your child going to, I'll be happy to know that. So let's jump straight into it. For those of you who are seeing me for the very first time, my name is Daniel Mutuku. I'm the founder of Career Point Solutions. I have been blessed that for the last 15 years, I've been a teacher in both the national system and international system. I'm also a career coach and a career counselor. I am a certified digital marketer by Google, and among other groups, I'm a very proud member of the League of Young Professionals. And I want to dive straight into the idea of career choices. And I would want you to reflect and look back. I don't know, when you were choosing your own career, or if you had a chance to choose your own career, what are some of the considerations that you had for you to get into that career? Was it the money, or was it that was the only option that was available? Were you forced? I know many people of this generation, or let me say our parents, the generation for parents, yeah, if you are a parent, most likely you were forced or you were told that this was the only opportunity. I've talked to some people and they told me, my mother got a chance to either take me to a teaching school or a nursing school, or the KMTC. And I had no choice. I had to pick one of them because that was the available chance. So I don't know for you, what was the decision? How did you end up where you are? Thank you, Veronica. Oh, yes, from Roots Junior Academy. I was able to talk with I think we have been in communication with the head teacher at Roots, and hopefully we'll also be able to bring this training over there. So here's the thing. One, most people, or let me just say for our kids, one of the reason or consideration they will use when they are choosing their career will be their talent. So one of the conversation would be, what are you talented in? And talent does not necessarily just mean can I say outdoor, good in football, runner, basketball, They can also have certain talents in regards to their intellectual capability, maybe reading, maybe mathematics, maybe reasoning, maybe critical thinking. That can be an area of you having that discussion with your child. What are you talented in? Then the other aspect of deciding which path do you go for would be, what are you passionate about? Now, and when we talk about passion, it might be very difficult to measure, especially in kids, because they really tend to get overwhelmed or swept away by what is currently trending. Oh, today it's football. They're passionate about football. Tomorrow it's about cars. The next time it's about planes. The next time is about cooking or building and all that. But it's a good thing to think about, what is their passion? What is it that they care about? And one of the good guiding feeling about it is, what is something that you would do even if you're not paid for? Yeah. I know the kids at this point, they are not being paid, but you can see they get really immersed in something. It is beyond what they're just offering. And the third thing that we need to think about, the third aspect, as we are trying to have a good career, would be the money. And here is where, as a parent, you come in and try to guide them in the aspect of the money. Money is important because it allows you to fund your lifestyle and your living. So you'll find some people who are very talented in certain areas, but that kind of talent does not tend to generate a lot of income for them. They might be doing something they're happy about, but again, it's not giving them any passion. So, or they are not really passionate about, or they might be skilled in an area. They have gone to school, they have trained, they have the skill, they're talented in that area, but they are passionate, but it does not have the money. So it's important also to think about that. Thank you very much, Becky Ann. I can see also joining us all the way in Junior Academy in Nakuru. Happy to have this team. Yeah, I think the head teacher did a good job sharing this around with you. So in a nutshell, if you look at the three combination, of course, a winning combination is when you're able to lead your child to an area where they get something they are passionate about, what they love doing. They get to do something they are good at, or they have learned the skill they are talented in, and also it pays them well. That kind of a combination right here in the middle is what we call a winning combination. That's the win, yeah. Sometimes you might not have all of them, but you might get something that you're really passionate about. You're also talented in it. Then you end up being happy but poor, because that specific career does not give you the money. It's not paying you well. But again, you can be talented in an area, you are good at it, it is paying you very well, but you're not really passionate about. You end up here where we talk about rich but miserable. I don't know how many of you have maybe come across, especially people who have very high, good paying jobs, but it is totally in an area that they are not passionate about, they are not happy about. These are people who dread waking up going to work in the morning, and you're like, but that job pays you well. You are the CEO, you are the director, or you are so talented, you have this, but because they are not passionate about, they are rich, they have the money, but they are miserable. They don't even have the time to spend that. And this part where they talk about it being a dream, whereby you get a job that you're passionate about, you do what you love, maybe you care about the environment, about children, about women, about, you might be passionate about different things, and then it pays you well, then that is a dream job. But if you can bring also the talent, then it becomes a winning aspect. So those are the three things I guess we should be able to guide our children as we discuss their career paths. Then once we have identified what would be a good career path for them, it's important now to understand what we call learning styles. And I don't expect, probably you might be knowing this, but if you don't know, it's okay. You're just a parent, but at least the teachers would appreciate that when they are teaching the students, all our students don't have the same learning style. They don't learn the same way. And there are three main learning styles that you need to be aware of and ask yourself, what is the learning style for my child? Number one is a visual. So a visual learner will learn through seeing and observing information, images, diagrams, videos. So when they see, when they engage their eyes, they tend to retain a lot of information. Then we have learners who are auditory, and these are students who learn the most or keep the most information when they listen. They repeat something over and over, and they're using their ears. And we also have students who are kinesthetic learners, and they learn through active participation and performing that information. So kinesthetic, they have heard, they have seen, but now they want to practice it. They want to, they are the hands-on. They would want to touch, they would want to move things around. And once you understand this, then it becomes easy for you to guide your child towards the right direction in terms of how then can we engage them to learn the most so that they can be able to utilize the learning system. So here's an example, yeah. I want to teach you a little bit, yeah, to just demonstrate this idea of the different learning styles. I am a physics teacher, so allow me to engage you in a short physics lesson. And I hope you will not switch off if you are among the people who said, oh, I stopped learning physics in Form 2. It was a first lesson or subject to drop. Or let me call it science, yeah? Because this is a very simple aspect of science. Are you ready to get to learn? 5 minutes, and then I demonstrated 3. I can see also, Grace, you're joining us. Thank you very much. I appreciate. I would also want to know probably if you're a teacher or your child is in which school. Let's learn a bit of science, yeah? Today, I want to teach you the concept of balanced forces. So I can come in class, and then now we are in class, yeah? You are my students, and I will just read out the definition of balanced forces. And I'll tell you, balanced forces or forces of equal size, these are forces of equal size acting in opposite direction. Now, when an object acted upon by balanced forces, it remains at rest or stays in motion at a constant speed. So when a teacher comes, reads out the definition, the child is able to hear. There are some students who will capture that information as like, yeah, I understand what balanced forces is. And there are some students who will still be lost, yeah? And I'll ask you which one do you work best with. So auditory learners will capture the information just from the definition being read. As a teacher, I will go ahead and draw a diagram to try and explain this concept of balanced forces. So here I am trying to attend to the visual learners. So I'll draw 2 arrows, one pointing to the left, the other one pointing to the right. And then I'll tell them, these are 2 forces which are equal in size, but they are pushing in opposite direction. So in this case, this is balanced force. If an object is experiencing these forces, it will not move. It will remain at rest, or it will continue to move at the same speed. Then some student will be like, yeah, I get it. I seem to get it. Or I can still go ahead and demonstrate or show a picture. Imagine it is sports day. We have the tug of war, and there is house green and house yellow. They are pulling. If both teams are pulling with the same force and it is going in the opposite direction, then it is going to be a balanced force. And visual learners will understand. And probably you there, you have understood a little bit about it. As a teacher, I'll still go ahead and try and engage the kinesthetic learners. And so what I'll do, I'll say, can I have 2 students to come and do that arm wrestling thing? And as they do the arm wrestling thing, you can be able to see, if the 2 forces acting in opposite direction are actually balanced, then I understand this concept of balanced forces. Is that okay? So, of course, in this race here, we know the dads will play favorite, and they might even allow the child to win. So let me pause here and do a quick quiz for those of you who are following through. Having taught you the aspect of balanced forces, at what point did you understand the concept? So we are trying to figure out, you as the parent, are you an auditory learner? Are you a visual learner? or are you kinesthetic? So in the comments, I want you to post either V, A, or K. Are you a visual learner? In terms of when I drew the arrows and I showed people doing the tug of war, is that the point where you understood? Or is it when I just read out the definition? Or is it when I now talked about, can you come in front of class? Can we do some tug of war or arm wrestling? Let me know in the chat, yeah? I know there is a slight delay. If you're watching the replay, it is still okay. You can comment. But if you're here with me live, let me know. Just drop either a V, an A, or a K. I would want to see my class. Are you more visual learners, auditory learners, or are you kinesthetic learners? As you do that, let me just try and give you some examples and ways that you can be able to engage your student or your child once you realize what kind of learner are they. So if they are visual learner, they learn best from graphs, illustration, maybe PowerPoint. The fact that we are doing a PowerPoint and there's this demonstration, there are the images, probably you are learning best, videos, pictures, and articles. Yeah. Once you realize this is my learner, my child, they learn more when we're doing this. There are some recommendations, even you as a parent, that you can do from home to really engage them. I guess the answers have started coming in. Lena Musyoka, you're saying you are more of the auditory learner. You hear things, you understand. Okay, good stuff. I can see Grace saying, Avi, you are more of the visual. Once you see, you're good. So you're the person who learns from the illustrations. I guess, yeah, that is you again. If you're there, just post. I will be happy to know that. The auditory learners, they learn most or they engage most when there is one-on-one discussion, when they are listening to a podcast, when they are listening in a group discussion. So it's good once you realize my child is more of an auditory learner. Can I encourage him to or her to be part of group discussion when there's an oral presentation and the videos, because there's the audio aspect of it. Oh, I can see another visual learner, that is Becky Ann. And kinesthetic learners, these are the ones who want to do hands-on. They want to walk around. They engage in walking meetings, role play, notes taking. And the other thing is, sometimes teachers will label a student who is more of a kinesthetic as a more disruptive learner, or someone who always disrupt the lesson. Because you ask for something, they're already standing, they want to try. Can I touch it? You have come to demonstrate something. It is science. Maybe you have brought in something like a flower. They're already there, they're touching the flower, they have spoiled it, and you're like, what is wrong with you? Probably there's nothing wrong with the child. It's only that they are more of the kinesthetic. They will learn more when they touch, when they see, and they engage and role play. So these are the students who you can engage even more at home. But anyway, hold this. Come, let's do this together. Can we do some construction or DIY projects together? Because you are engaging their learning centers. Oh, Veronica, you're saying you are more of the auditory learner, yeah? Okay, good. I can see the V's, the A's. I haven't seen any K here today. But if you are still watching the replay, it would be good for you to let me know. So how does all this connect to the career paths? Yeah. Now I want to connect the career choices, the idea of passion, talent, and money to all these learning styles. How do they direct us in terms of the career path? I want to believe probably you have come across this diagram, which is the guideline from the Kenya, is it curriculum development, where they said this is the flow of the student. They will start from pre-primary, then go to lower primary, that is grade. This is the number of years. Then they will go to upper primary. That is a grade, is it 4, 5, 6? Then from there, they go to junior secondary. So I believe most of you, your children are in junior secondary. And if your child is in grade 9, now they are about to move from the junior secondary and go to the senior secondary. And this is where now they will also be choosing their career paths. There are three main career paths: arts, sports science, then there's social sciences, and STEM. And how do you guide them in terms of picking up these career paths? And that is where now we are coming in to have this discussion today. So let's talk about STEM as a career path. Basically, STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And most of the career paths, or there are three more category under the STEM. You will have the path of pure sciences. There is the path of applied sciences. This is where we have the engineering and stuff. And we also have engineering, and we have technology studies. So according to the career path, yes, they might go for STEM, and then there are certain careers that are under the STEM. Now, next, when we are talking about social sciences, again, they have three categories. They can go under languages. They will pick something under humanities, and also there is a business studies, and there are different specific courses. Like language, it might be a journalist, interpreter. Humanities, we have law, we have human resource, we have art, like communication, and then we have business studies, finance, accounting, and all that. Yeah. Then from the social, from that we have the other category, which is arts and sports science. And in the sports science, they also have three categories. There's the sports science, there's the visual arts. So as a sports science, you might end up as a team manager, nutritionist for a team in sports. Visual arts, this is mainly drawing and sculpturing. And then we have performing arts, like the actors, music, dancers, and stuff. So those are the three main career paths that the curriculum is currently providing. And so initially, the point was after grade 9, based on the performance of the student in the different subject, they would go to specific secondary schools, which will be offering specific, can I say, pathways. But now they say, no, a school can be able to provide 2, 3, 4, the 2 or the 3 career pathways. And still a student can take certain subjects in STEM, maybe major in STEM, pick most or all the subjects in STEM, or they can minor, have something in STEM and also one in social sciences, or 2 or 3, or they can be able to balance. But as they decide which subjects, which career paths they pick, because that will later inform the university and the tertiary education institution they go for, it is important for us to know how best do we guide them. Are we okay? Now, before I go to the next bit, I want to talk about the CBC aptitude assessment that can help you to do that. A quick check for those who are here with me live, and even if you're watching the replay, I want to know, how well prepared are you as a parent to guide your child in terms of which pathway to pick? In a scale of 1 to 5, 1 meaning that you are not prepared at all. You don't understand these pathways. You don't know what to do next. And 5, it means you have understood. You have taken your time. You have learned these career paths, what the curriculum is offering, what NEC is saying, and you are sure about guiding. Maybe 3, you're not so sure. You might know something or not. So as a parent, how well prepared are you, or how ready are you to guide your child? So give me a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, this is awesome. Grace, you rate yourself at a 5, yeah? You're in a position that you can confidently guide your child on what to pick. I'm happy to see that. Maybe one more rating. How would you rate yourself as a parent? Yeah? And even if you're a teacher, I know at some point you will start getting these questions from the students, or the parents now want you to guide them. How well prepared are you? Between a 1 and a 5. I can see Lena talking about 2. Okay, it's good to do your own self-assessment. I hope after this session, you will maybe move to a 3 or a 4, if not a 5. Susan, you're saying 3. Now it has been changed by changed to CBE, not CBC. Yeah. So at least at a 3. Okay, good to see that. So at least we have some idea of what to do. So what I also want to present to you is what we call the CBC aptitude assessment. One of the things that I have learned as a teacher, because I teach in an international school, is that one advantage they have is there are several assessments that the students would take that would guide them in terms of knowing what best would work for them. And that is what I want to share with you. So at Career Point Solutions, we were able to create an aptitude assessment that is specifically for the Kenyan market, and it's going to help them in terms of how do we help the students make decisions in terms of their careers. Now, this aptitude assessment is done online, and it is designed mainly for students who are between the age of 11 to 14. This is mainly in the junior secondary school. Now, this assessment will evaluate the learning style and the potential career pathways. So once you are able to take this, the student is able to take the assessment, they will get a rating in terms of this is the most likely learning style that they get, and this is a possible career path for them. And I'll show you the results, how they come in. How do you do the assessment? The assessment takes about 10 to 15 minutes to complete. And instantly you get the results, which once you get the results, you can go through it. And then I will offer you one-on-one coaching session to interpret the results and also to give you some more insights on how you can be able to support the child. Now, this is how the result would look like for a student. It might say that this student, the kinesthetic learning style for the student is 83, auditory learning style is 66, and visual learning style is 54. What this means is that if they are presented with information only in form of kinesthetic, they will absorb about 83% of the information. If the information was only presented auditory, then they will be able to retain about 66%. And if it were only done visually, it is 55. And so in this case, there are certain strategies and interventions that we might bring to ensure that this child is able to get most from the class. Then you will also have a rating in terms of the learning career path. It would say probably the student will be about 92% chances of them falling in arts and sports science. And you can see this goes hand in hand with their learning style because it is kinesthetic. They want to do. And you will find that most of the arts and sports science is about doing, is about drawing, is about acting, is about maybe playing a specific game. Chances of them getting more into the social sciences is 76, and STEM is about 72. Now, does this mean that this child cannot get into STEM? No. Once you realize that, oh, I really want, or they want to get into STEM, into engineering, it is rating at 72. How can I use these learning styles in kinesthetic to boost their understanding of subjects that are more of STEM subjects? So it can play either way, but this is just an indicator for you to start thinking about how do I support the child. Now, the other thing is with the report, there come some recommendations that a teacher, you can take the report to your teacher and say, my student, these are some of the recommendations from the report that you can support my child in. Then there's also some recommendation for you as a parent. What can you do beyond? I know we pay school fees. I know we buy uniform. I know we do all the other extracurricular activities, but there are some things as a parent you can do to support their learning that might look like very small things, but they have a very big impact. Let me give you an example. There's a parent who they learned that their child is more of a visual learner. And one of the recommendations from the report would be to provide or buy some visual stimulant that will help the child learn more. And so what the parent did, one of the recommendation was, I don't know if you know these big charts. Sometimes they sell in bookshops or also in the streets or in the traffic jam. These charts showing the digestive system, the breathing system, and this parent just bought them and took them home, and the child would engage more with that content. And so because they wanted the child to go more of the STEM, they learned more at home. By the time they are going to school, they already have these diagrams in their head. And you might have bought it as a toy, maybe 500, maybe 200, I don't know. But you will be surprised how much it is helping your child learn. Another one was more of the kinesthetic. And one of the recommendation was take them to trips. Of course, schools have trips, but you as a parent, you might be spending your holidays or like Labor Day going to a zoo, going to an animal park, to a museum. And when they engage with some of these things, they are learning. You are still having a good time as a family, but these are recommendations that are really helping you engage the learning centers of your child in the head as much as they're still fun. So those are just examples I thought it would be good for you to know. And then you will also have some recommendations on careers and university courses that they might pick in future. Another benefit is that it boosts confidence and motivation by aligning education with natural strengths. So you see, when a student realizes that this is what they are really good at, this is what they thrive most in, and it is actually connected in their education, you will not force them to learn anymore. And that is one of the best ways to tap into the intrinsic motivation of the child. It's just showing them how their natural strength is aligned to the education. And you don't have any worry to keep on pushing. Do this, do that, do this, do that. They also get to personalize their learning plan by tailoring it to their learning style. So a student realizes, yes, I can listen to the teacher, but that is not the best way I absorb information. Why not engage in a certain video? Even when they are with their devices, they are watching YouTube channels or YouTube videos because they are more visual. So you find that they personalize their learning style. And then having this early career guidance help to set realistic and achievable goals. I can testify to this, and you as parents, probably you can tell me this. The earliest you are able to talk about career choices is when you are going to the university or when you are choosing a course in the college and you didn't know anything about even that course. I picked a course that I didn't know. My parents even did know better when they actually just sent me, there's Nani who is in a university, go talk to them. And sometimes that is usually our failure. That is why we did not have this discussion early. But the earlier you have this discussion with your child, the better it is for them to be able to set realistic and achievable goals in terms of their career. So it's important. It's never too early, but it can always be too late. Another benefit is that the parent gain insights into their child's strengths and potential. So you as a parent, you know what works best for them. And the teacher can also be able to tailor instructions in a method that is suitable for both the learning style. And you find that with this collaborative approach, your child's potential, you are supporting your child to be able to get the most out of the education journey. It's like the three-legged stool. The parent brings in, they have the insights, the teacher know how to support the child, and the child themselves, they know what works best for them. And with that, it's a winning combination. That collaborative approach to supporting your child in your education. So you might there ask, has it worked before? Yes, these are just some testimonials I've got, teachers and parents. You can see here there's this parent called Lisa Kipkoril who said, the insights from the assessment were incredibly accurate. My daughter feels more confident and motivated to pursue her interest. The career coaching session was invaluable. A parent saying, as a parent, I was struggling with how best to support my child. The expert guidance provided was tailored to our needs, has a significant difference in the approach to our child's education. I highly recommend this assessment to all parents. A teacher in GSS saying here that this assessment was a game changer for the students. I can now tailor my teaching to each child's need. making learning more fun, more engaging, and effective. That is what we hope, that even when we take this assessment to schools, it gives the insights to the teachers and they're able to personalize their teaching. They're not just teaching a class of 50 students. They know what your child needs. So what you're going to get, if you decide today to sign up for this assessment, what you will get are this. We'll have an orientation session with your child to show them how to do the assessment. Then they will get to take the assessment online, which might take between 15 to 20 minutes or even less. Then from there, you'll get an individual student report. You can be able to download it right away. And then you will have career counseling session. And in this case, we can do it as a group, both the parents and the children, or we can have it you as your parent and the child, and we discuss the result. I'll provide that for you. So if you're asking how much does it cost, normally it would cost up to even 5,000, depending on how we're doing it. But for today, I want to give a special offer for those of you who are watching me here live. If you're watching this replay, hopefully you watch it before Sunday, because I want to give you at only 2,999. You get the orientation session, you get to do the assessment, the report, and the career counseling session between me, you, and the child. If you want to take advantage of the whole of this day, go to Lipa na M-Pesa, buy goods and services. The till number is 715732. It will show you career point solutions. If you do it, you can just forward me the message and we can set up. Even then, you can do the assessment tonight if you want to. So what is this career coaching sessions? I want to do group career coaching sessions. So we can have a session tomorrow if you would want, between 7:30 and 8:30. So that means if you pay today, I'll set it up for you. The child can take the assessment in the course of the day tomorrow. Then we have a coaching session. We can have another session between Saturday 2:30 to 3:30. And I'll have the last group for this specific session on Monday between 7:30 and 8:30. I want you to be there already at home. So we are not pressing you. I know the children are also at home. They have their holidays, but it will be good for them even to go to school with a report to show what you can be able to do to them. A bit about this aptitude assessment. If you are asking, what does it do? Now, it is customized to the CBC, and this assessment is designed to evaluate the student learning styles, the career paths, accurately. It is in alignment with the Bloom's taxonomy, which emphasizes on the importance of assessing various cognitive skills, from basic knowledge to higher learning or higher order of thinking. And it's also supported by what we call Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence. Gardner was able to come up with the idea that our students or human beings are not, they don't have only one intelligence. They are multiple intelligence, including linguistic, logical and mathematical, spatial, and more. This assessment will be able to capture this different diverse intelligence and provide a comprehensive profile for each student's strength. So don't get confused. Don't just fumble around. Hopefully those like Lena, who you are at a 2, with this assessment will help you to get to a 5. If you are a 3, even if you're a 5, you can still boost your knowledge, yeah, and say, yes, I want it to go to the next level. So I want to pause here and ask if there's any question. If anyone has any question in regards to what I have shared, just post it in the comment. If you are still watching the replay, at least between today, which is Thursday, to Sunday, post on the comments. I'll be going through to check them out. If you want to pay right away, the till number is 715732. You get the orientation session. There's the assessment itself. There's the report. And then there's the career counseling session between me, you, and the child. Are we together? Any question? Let me check here if we have any question. Anyone with a question? So if there are no questions, I want to take the next 5 minutes just to give you some bit of more information as we close it up. I know there's though this is a bit, can I say, deep when we are talking about the theories behind this kind of assessment. There's what we call cognitive development. And during adolescence, significant cognitive development occurs, like enhancing abstract thinking, problem solving, and decision making. And I know some parents who have had this concern and ask me, is it too early to start discussing careers with my children? No, it is not. Because I'll share with you one simple thing here. According to a certain theory, Pigot's theory of cognitive development, he actually found out that adolescents enter the formal operation stage around age 12, where they develop the ability to think logically and hypothetically. This cognitive maturation enables them to make more informed and rational decisions about their future. And so if you look at this, children at 2 years below, that is when they are developing what we call sensory motor. Then they go to pre-operational development. At age 7 to 12, they get to the concrete operational development. And 12 years and beyond, this is where they gain the formal operational development. And if you look at this graph here, when we talk about cognitive ability and the age, between 0 to 14, this is where there's the growth in the development. And at around midpoint here, at age 12, if you don't do the best to be able to optimize your children's cognitive capability, it might start following this graph here, the dotted one, and goes down. But if you engage them well, then this is where you optimize and you take it up here. And then at age 25 to 60, it's about maintaining high level of function and reserve. Then at 65, your cognitive functions start dropping. Yeah, it's natural. It's okay. I don't want to ask you what's your age. I don't want to say which level you are in terms of your cognitive capacity, but we know our children at age 12, in the middle of the development stage, and we want to help them optimize and grow their cognitive ability. And that is what will help them be more satisfied in their education in the future, the kind of careers that they take, and them being successful finally. I guess this is the last call. I will stop it there. I want to check in the comments if there's any question. If you have any question, if you want to take up the this opportunity, the till number is 715732. You have any questions, you want to take it up on B, I can give you my number right here. WhatsApp me, call me during the day, not at night. At night, you can just WhatsApp me, say you're interested. Just say CBC assessment. I can do. I'll set it up for you. You can take up the assessment. It's only 2,999. This is an investment in your child education, which is a small fraction if you think about the school fees, but it's going to optimize the school fees that you're going to pay so that the child can get the most out of it. Is that okay? I don't seem to see a question. I think I will stop it there for now. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate. Yeah, this is the Q&A session. So if there are no questions, I want to take 5 minutes. Then I can call it a day. I can still see we are early. It's 8:14. 5 minutes. Let me know in the chat, what would you say is one key takeaway you have gotten from this session? What is it that you would say out of everything you have talked about, the choices of career, the learning styles, the career path, the assessment, the cognitive capacity, the theories? I think I've talked about so many things. What would you say is one of your key takeaway? Drop that in the chat. I will be reading them as I finish up, and we can call it a day. Let me put some music to entertain you in the next 3 minutes so that I can encourage you to post in your comments. And if you are watching the replay, please do post it also. Yeah, I would be happy to know what you have learned from today's session before we call it a day. What was your key takeaway? Becky, you're among the first people who joined us. What would you say is your key takeaway from today's session? Veronica Ogata, I think you're the first one to comment. Hope you're still there. What would you say is your key takeaway from today's session? I'll be happy to read it down there. Grace Mogire, what is your takeaway from today's session? I like the confidence that you have saying, yeah, we are at the 5 in terms of assisting, yeah, and getting ready for this. Lena, what would you say is your key takeaway from today's session? Let me see. Susan Kegwe, what would you say is your takeaway from today's session? Okay, I guess there's a bit of some delay. Drop them. I'll still be able to read the comments later on. Reach me directly. This is my number on WhatsApp. If it's a call, give me a call during the day, and then we will call it. We can be able to discuss further. Until next time, I'm out.